Hi, I'm your host Vasco Duarte. Welcome to the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, where we share tips and tricks from Scrum Masters around the world. Every day, we bring you inspiring answers to important questions that all Scrum Masters face day after day.
TGIF everybody, today's Friday and we have our product owner episode with our guest for the week, Nimi Bello. Hey Nimi, welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me back. And it is Friday.
It is Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Right, so Friday is, of course, Product Owner Day here on the podcast. And the product owner is indeed a critical role for our teams and, of course, our own success, for our team's success and for our own success. And we therefore need to be aware of what are some of the anti-patterns, but also what are great product owners doing. And we'll talk about great product owners in a second. But before that, do share with us, Nimi, what might have been potentially the worst product owner anti-pattern you've witnessed in your career.
So I would say the worst I've experienced is a product owner who does not think they're part of the team. There's a difference. A product owner who does not operate as part of the team works in silo. And what will happen is the team will constantly need help with clarification of requirements, and you're not joining the backlog refinements. You're not even part of the daily stand-ups, which you don't have to be on a daily basis. But I do think that there's something about product owner just joining the daily stand-up and actually giving the illusion of, oh, I see what you're doing. I care. I want to know about what you're doing. That gives the team a little bit more confidence than you expect. And I'll kind of explain what I mean by this. When the product owner is a part of the team, there's higher productivity, there's less bugs. We're talking about quality now. And I think also having a product owner who is dedicated to a team makes a big difference. Sometimes I've seen product owner do the 50-50 split that I don't recommend. And what normally happens is there's communication misalignments, there's priority issues, there's more of a disconnect and you not actually being embedded into the team. And it causes a lot of pain points. It impacts deliverables. Like I mentioned, quality earlier impacts quality, and the list goes on. And it's a never ending circle. And what will happen is, they will say, let's restructure the team. It's not the team issue. The issue is the product owner is not a part of the team. And that's the main issue. We're not prioritizing the product owner. And I think also a product owner who is also acting as a product manager and a product owner who is not day-to-day causes a lot of pain points. I would say you definitely want to be day-to-day, and then have a product manager who can definitely drive the high level roadmap also as well.
So in situations like this, when you see that the product owner isn't necessarily available, they're maybe writing the stories alone wherever and then coming down from that ivory tower and dropping it into the backlog. When you're working with POs that are in this kind of behavioral pattern, if you will, what do you do as a coach and as a Scrum Master?
So I think context is important. What is the structure of the organization? Why is this happening? Is this an individual mindset thing, or is this a cultural aspect? When I say culture, I'm talking about the company. Does the company value having a dedicated product owner? So I think spending a little bit of time and doing research, because what I've come to find out from my experiences, sometimes it's out of their control. It's the way the organization has set things that is causing this mindset or this pain point. So if you do some research and you come to realize and understand that actually, no, this is more of a personality trait, a couple of things will probably need to happen. One, you definitely want to start doing some team building exercises, start kind of intentionally forcing the one team mindset. Start talking like you are a team. Make it really clear. Involve the product owner in certain meetings with the team. And then also, if there's a tech lead or a team lead, you definitely want to have a one-on-one with the product owner and also that tech lead to kind of set the expectation of, hey, we are a team, because when they're providing those requirements or the priorities and all those things, we also want them to understand that, hey, the team also needs to have their voice a part of this also as well. So I do think that a couple of things would need to happen just based off of case by case scenario situation, because sometimes it's probably a personality situation, a company, organizational structural things that may be out of their control. So I would say definitely find out what the context is. And then I would say coach from there once you understand the context.
Yeah, absolutely. And the context is super important because, as you said, it might be that the PO is trapped within a context that doesn't allow them to be more available and to be part of the team, right? So that tip about doing the research, understanding why this is happening is extremely important.
Yep.
But of course, not all product owners are bad. Some are indeed great, awesome product owners. So let's hear potentially the best product owner you've ever worked with, Nimi. How did they work?
So the best product owner that I work with, they took a lot of pride and value and prioritization. They spent a lot of time involving the team in backlog refinements. They actively asked for feedback, and also they protected the team. In instances, I've heard product owners like, hey, my team is heads down doing this right now. And if we want to prioritize this new body of work, I'm going to have to go back and talk to the team and get back to you. So I've been in conversations like that, and I'm in the back normally like, yes, I love it, cheering them on. And I also strategically make sure that when we do have a sprint where they did something, I make sure that we highlight that. Like, hey, team, I heard your PO go to bat for you. Like, your PO went to bat for you. Do you see what happened in the sprint where there was no interruption? It's because your PO had the much needed conversation and they went to bat for you. So I make sure that I give the kudos there publicly so that the team is aware, like, hey, product owner is part of your team. Like, they're advocating for you, whether you know it or not. So things like that is really, really critical. And I think I would say that I've really been fortunate enough to have a few good product owners who operated like that. And the difference was really clear. So when we talk about the three amigos, we talk about those relationships. It's really, really critical to have that holy trinity within the team, because when you have that, it's a domino effect to the rest of the team. So I would definitely say that I've seen product owner who do that, who really, really advocated for their team to stakeholders, who said, okay, well, you want to prioritize this, not a problem. I'm sure that the team may be able to do this, but I'm going to prioritize this for our next backlog refinement. Is that okay? And if it's not okay, then we're going to need to go ahead and deprioritize this current deliverables and commitments and then put this into the sprint. If you're okay with that, just give me a few. I'll get back with the team and we can circle back and kind of let you know the outcome. So I've seen product owners who have that partnership model with the rest of their developers and their engineers. And it's definitely had more of a value driven and also enhances quality also as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like how you talk about the product owner being an active role in helping the team perform, because it's not just about making sure the backlog is clear, prioritized, that we have great sprint goals, that we have a product vision, that we get customer feedback. That's part of it, of course, and a very important part of it. But when the PO involves themselves with the team and helping the team, then their ideas get amplified by the productive power that they unleash in the team. So it's a really, I would say the PO is a catalyst for high performance in a team.
Absolutely.
So Nimi, it's been a pleasure to have you here on the podcast, but unfortunately we're just about to end. But before we go, do share with us, where can people find out more about you and the work that you're doing?
Absolutely. So I'm pretty active on Instagram, LinkedIn. You can pretty much find me on any social platform. Instagram, it's AGILEBAE, Agile Bay. I'll let you figure out what Bay stands for when you follow me on Instagram. Nimi Bello on LinkedIn. And like I said, Agile Bay on our platform, and you can also follow Agile and Brunch. We do have an event coming up in June in the DMV. This is going to be year 3 of Agile and Brunch. And this is to celebrate, to connect, and to empower Agilists, tech professionals from all over. So we'd definitely love to see you there. And you can definitely learn more about that too on agileandbrunch.com. But like I said, you can find me Agile Bay, AGILE BAE on Instagram, on all social platforms. So thanks so much for having me. I really, really enjoyed this.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for being with us. I'll put all of those links on the show notes so that people can easily find Nimi. And why not reach out and ask a few follow-up questions? Why not? Nimi, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for your generosity with your time and your knowledge.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. This was a really, really great conversation. Looking forward to more. Thank you.
One more week of the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast is over, but there's a lot more we have to share. We have developed our own membership site where you find a community of active and engaged Scrum Masters. In this site, you get access to exclusive content and get to interact with us, your podcast host, as well as the best Scrum Masters in the world. So join us at scrummasterpodcast.com and keep this podcast free of advertising. See you next week for one more full week of Scrum Master tips and tricks. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.